The quiz will end in 5 minutes. Save your answer to be ready for submission. The quiz will end in 3 minutes. Save your answers. The quiz will end in 1 minute. Save your answers. It will be submitted automatically if you have not done so already. Okay. The quiz is over now, so you will be able to see your the result and detailed feedback in the Connect website later after the class. And so you took the quiz on chapter 4 and 5 today, and we are in chapter 6. Today we will finish chapter 6 and start chapter 7. And the exam coverage is from chapter 1 through chapter 7. And as you noticed, when the time value of money concepts are getting more complicated. So you should spend enough time to practice. Otherwise, you will be struggling in quizzes and the exam. So do more practice and review the solutions if you didn't do well. So, and ask for help if you still don't understand some certain concepts. As you know, I have office hours on Wednesdays today from 1 to 3. So, and you do not need any appointment. So just to stop by if you need help. So let's go back to, I will enable the chat function and I will let you unmute. So let me first allow chat, and also I will mute. I will allow you to unmute, and yeah, chat function has been enabled. Then, all right, so we only have one slide remaining in chapter 6. So let's finish it. So the last slide in chapter 6 is about amortized loan with fixed payment. And in the real world, we have many good examples of amortized loan with fixed payment. That's like mortgages and car loans. So make sure you understand how this amortized loan with fixed payment work using the Excel file. So in the real world, if you want to see more real world examples, this is an experiential learning. So websites, there are many websites that provides this real world example on amortized loan with a fixed payment, like lendingtree.com. You can do mortgage calculation, and you see mortgage calculators in that kind of website, and the mathematics behind it. This is exactly what you are learning here. So if you click this Excel file, you can open this Excel file. So let me share the Excel file. You can see. So in this kind of example, 4-year car loan, suppose it's an annual payment and borrowing $5,000, interest rate 8%, principal, so borrowing $5,000. What is the annual payment? So payment, how to find it using the, oops. Oh. Yeah, let me try again. So I accidentally clicked the wrong cell. So let me reopen it and share. Yeah, okay, good. So let me share this Excel file again. Excel file. Yeah. Okay, so payment, how to calculate payment? You enter the present value and interest rate. So this interest rate and how many periods, so 4-year loan. So that's how you calculated the payment. So the same payment for 4 years every year. So this Excel file shows how this loan payoff works. So at the beginning of the first year, 5,000 loan balance, and this payment is coming from this annuity payment calculation you can do, and the interest pay out of this annual payment has two components. Interest, so how do you calculate what's the interest amount? So beginning of the year balance multiplied by interest rate. And the rest is the principal. So total monthly annual payment minus interest payment is principal payment. So after principal, this amount of principal paid, ending balance is this. End of the first year balance is the beginning of the second year balance. So you can calculate like this. So this is an example, and what if I ask you in an exam, for example, can you make this kind of amortization table for a mortgage, 30-year fixed rate mortgage? What are you going to do? You should be able to apply this knowledge to do a mortgage calculation. Or if I ask you to make an amortization table like this for a car loan. So you want to buy a new car after you get a job. Exciting, right? Yeah. So imagine that kind of situation. After you graduate and you are ready to, you got paychecks, and then you are ready, save some for down payment, and you are ready to borrow, buy a car. So you will need a car loan, like a 5-year car loan with 60 monthly payments. And you go to a dealer shop, and the dealer provides that kind of financing option. So interest rate, 5-year car loan. That's the case. Can you make the amortization table like this for the new car loan? You should be able to. So if I ask you that kind of question, you should be able to apply your knowledge to make one. So yeah, let's try. Yeah, making one. Like yeah, I will copy this, and I will copy this and modify this. I will copy this and make a blank sheet. I will show it to you. So I will paste this. Yeah. And then I will change this to, let's modify this. So consider, let's say 5-year car loan with monthly payments. If the interest rate is, let's say right now interest rate is quite low, and suppose you have a good credit, so it's like you get let's say 4%, and the principal amount you want to borrow, let's say 10,000. So how much? So what is the monthly payment? So you need to calculate the monthly payment. So you need to modify this. How many? So what should I write here? So this is a mortgage. Yeah, to make sure. So let me share again. So this is a monthly payment, 5-year car loan. So I should write 60 months in 5 years. So what rate I should write there? Oh, rate should be no longer 8%. It should be 4%. And is it the end? No, I should do something. Someone write a chat box. Yes, good, Jackie, thank you. We need to divide it by 12. Thank you, Jackie, for the participation, because we need, this is a monthly loan. And then the principal amount should be $10,000. You want to borrow $10,000. And then, oh, the payment is 100 $184.70. So make sure that we are, let's do the payment calculation to make sure that we are doing it right. So payment, so how to do the payment? Rate should be here, and number of period here, and we are borrowing $10,000. The payment, yeah, we got it right. So either way, so this we just payment is correct. So the beginning balance is, beginning balance $10,000, and payment is this, and then interest. What's the interest paid? So interest paid out of that $184.17. Interest paid is this balance, beginning of the year balance multiplied by interest rate. Good. And principal paid is the difference. And then we subtract, and then, then let's just see. Oh, we should not stop it here. So we will delete this, and we will keep going. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So we should keep going to what period? 60. So we should keep going to 60. So 60. Where? All right. And then we will just keep this one. So where? Oh, this is not true. So the last one was just this. So we need to make sure. Oh, the last line seems to be messed up. So we will just use. So we see, this one is working. So this is using second year ending balance. Good. And payment calculation is correct. Interest calculation is correct. And principal calculation is also correct. Ending balance, good. So then we see everything is correct, and then select this, and you see the plus sign. That means we copy all those to fill it. So this is a convenient feature of Excel. So see, and then, we should keep going. So 54, 5, 6. We should go all the way up to 60. So just copy this. We just copy this. We must keep going. You see beautifully at the end of the 16 months, we are done. So our loan balance became 0. So we are done with the payment. I see a checkbox activity, sorry. All right, that's fine. So all right, any questions? So you see, so this amortization table helps you understand. You see, you're making the same $84.70, but at the beginning, your interest payment is $33 out of the $184 of payment, and the principal part $150. But down the road, as time passes by, what do you see? Interest payment portion is shrinking. Why? Because your loan balance is going down. You're paying off part of the principal using your monthly payment. So that's why balance is going down. You're owing less and less money to, and the bigger proportion of your car become yours. Debt is shrinking. So your equity is increasing. So you see, as the loan balance decreases, interest portion it goes down, and more of your payment is used to pay off debt. So at the last month, you see, you're only paying 61 cents of interest, and most of your $184.17 of monthly payment goes toward the paying off the debt. So principal payment. And what if COVID pandemic is over and then market rates go up? So, or if your credit score is not good, so the dealer is charging a much higher interest rate for you. Then, so let's see, if someone who has a bad credit but lucky to get a loan, and if interest rate is 8% instead of 4%, and then when interest rate was 8%, the monthly car loan payment was about $184. But if it becomes 8%, what's going to happen? So monthly payment will increase a lot. So let's see how it increases. So we just change this into 8%. You see, 184 instead of over $200 instead of 184. So that's the power. So that's why you should have a good credit and low interest rate based on good credit and low interest rate environment that affects car loans and mortgages, everything. All right. So this is about amortized loan with fixed payment. Any questions so far? No? And then we are ready to move on to the next chapter, chapter 7, bond valuation. So as you can see, many of you, as some of you will take more advanced finance courses in the future. Or some students will, this is the last finance course you will take. So for some students. And whether you take another finance course or not in the future, what you learn in this class, it's very useful during your life. Understanding the stock market, understanding how mortgages work. But there are many complicated calculations, so you need to invest the time to learn. So the next topic is chapter 7. So we learn about bonds in this chapter. So in the previous chapter, we spent a lot of time to talk about loans. So do you remember what are the 3 different types of loans? Do you remember? So we had a slide in chapter 6, and there are 3 different types of loans. One is what we just learned, amortized loan. So that's one type, and there are 2 other types. What are the 2 other types? One is pure discount loan. And what was the example? What was a good example of pure discount loan? T-bills, treasury bills, don't make any payment in between, but the loan is sold at a discount because present value is lower than future value, and then no payment in between, but at the end, when the T-bill matures, the principal is paid back by the U.S. Treasury Department, U.S. federal government. So that's an example of pure discount loan. And pure discount loan and amortized loan, there is another loan type. What was it? That's interest-only loan. So chapter 7 is about interest rate-only loan. The good example is bond. So bonds, when companies, so this is a corporate finance course, so we learn about corporation financing. So there are 2 main ways corporations raise capital from the outside market, so from investors in capital markets. One important way is issuing bonds. The other important way is issuing stocks. So chapter 7 is about how to raise funds in the bond market. That's chapter 7. And chapter 8 is about how to raise funds in the stock market. So in chapter 7, we focus on corporate bonds. And the beauty is what you learn about corporate bonds can be applied to other types of bonds as well. So US Treasury, notes and bonds, and municipal bonds, and mortgage-backed security bonds. So all bonds work similarly. So what you learn in chapter 7 is a mechanism of how bond markets work. So bonds are interest, most bonds are interest-only loans, meaning that when the corporations first issue bonds to raise, to borrow from the bond market, so there is a principal value. So for example, this company wants to borrow $100 million in the bond market. And then $100 million is the, and it's also $100 million loan. And then, so what's the present value? So the present value is $100 million. And they want to borrow now $100 million. And how long? That the corporate CFO has to decide for how long. So let's say 10 years. So 10-year bond, and usually bonds make semi-annual interest payment. So 100 million semi-annual interest payment, and then what's the interest rate? So usually when corporations decide to buy a new bond, they look at the yield to maturity of a similar bond in the market and set the coupon rate equal to that rate, that yield to maturity of a going rate. So let's say that interest rate is 8% per year. But you remember from the previous chapter, quoted rates are annual rates, so APR. So 8% interest rate means semi-annual rate is 4%. So 4% of 100 million. So that's the coupon. So semi-annual coupon. So interest-only loan means that every 6 months for 10 years, that means 20 semi-annual period, 4% of coupons the corporation will pay to bondholders, but no more, just interest payment. So coupons are interest on that 100 million principal. So, and what happens after 10 years? So 20 semi-annual period, what happens? The principal amount of 100 million should be repaid. So the principal payment has not been made any time during the 10-year period because bonds are interest-only loan. And that works very differently from amortized loan like mortgage, right? So in amortized loan, borrowers have to pay, make the same payment that includes both interest and principal, but bonds, interest is, but in bonds, that's not the case. Principal will be paid at the end. And in between, there is only interest payment, and that we call coupon. So any questions so far? So based on this knowledge, but the coupons, bond coupons works like annuity because it satisfies the condition of annuity, because bond coupons, same interval, usually 6 months, and same payment, repeats for a limited period. So that satisfies the annuity's condition. So that's why your knowledge, the knowledge you developed in the previous chapter will be used in bond valuation as well. So what I just talked about is included in the next several slides. And let me show you just an example. So in slide 9, what's the value of a bond? That means present value, bond value, so bond price, bond value, it's a present value. So you now pay this amount, present value, to buy a bond. And bond value has two components. So what are the two components? The present value of annuity, because you are going to receive coupons for T periods. And those coupon payments of C, so coupon C for T periods, but those are future money, future payments, so same payments. So this is, where does this equation come from? So this is the annuity present value equation. But you don't have to remember this equation because your calculator will do the calculation. So bond value, the value of a bond, if you purchase a bond now, you receive two different types of cash flows. One, coupons, so that's an annuity payment, and the other, principal at the end of the loan maturity. So when the loan matures, you will receive the principal. And what's the present value of that principal payment? You need to discount it using the interest rate, and there is T period. So this bond value has two components. So if I ask you, a bond price has two components. What are the two components? If that's the question, what should be your answer? So one component is the present value of the principal that will be paid at the end, and the other component is the annuity present value based on the coupons you will receive regularly until the bond mature. So those are the two components. So after you understand this logic, so this is, I'm explaining the same thing, we using different slides and different methods. So bond value has two components, the present value of coupons and the present value of par. So what do I mean by par? And that means you guys need to learn the language, bond language. So par, in the bond world, par means face value, principal, so that will be repaid at the end. So when at the bond maturity. And in the bond world, you should also be familiar with different interest rates. So coupon rate and in yield to maturity looks similar. Both are interest rates, but they are very different things. So you should clearly understand the differences between coupon rate and yield to maturity. So what you must remember down the road is yield to maturity is the discount rate. So don't use coupon rate as the discount rate. Yield to maturity of a bond is the required return. That's the discount rate. So you must remember. But even though I emphasize this a lot, when I teach the next level finance class, investment class, many students still think that if I ask you, what's the discount rate for bond valuation? Many students say that coupon rate. It's wrong. So coupon rate is not the discount rate. Yield to maturity is the discount rate. Yield to maturity is the required return. And what is the coupon rate for? So coupon rate of a bond is the stated interest payment. So coupon rate is used to calculate the coupon interest amount. So coupon rate definition is annual coupon divided by par value. So as you notice, coupon rate works like APR. This is an annual rate. So for example, if you purchase a bond that has a par value of 1,000, that's paying $40 every 6 months. So what's the coupon rate of this bond? So let me write down. So yeah, let me write down a question. So $1,000 par value, $40 coupon every 6 months. For 5 years. So this is an example. What is the coupon rate of this one? So if I ask you this question, what is your answer? So write your answer in the chat box. I don't see anyone writing the, so what's the annual coupon? 80, right? Yes, 8% is the correct answer. 8%, because, yeah, thank you, Jackie, for your participation. So annual coupon is semi-annual 2 times, so 80. So 80 annual coupon divided by par value 1,000, so that's 8%. So coupon rate is like an APR. So because coupon rate is a quoted rate, so it works like an APR. So any questions so far? Right? Yeah, I see another chat. So Kegla, you have a question, then you can unmute and ask the question. Yeah, why is it 40 and not 80, not 40? Because the definition of the coupon rate is annual coupon divided by par value, because coupon rate is a quoted rate and it should show annual rate. So that means that's why coupon rate definition is annual coupon. Every 6 months, you get $40. That means you get $80 per year. Yeah, good. Yeah. All right. So why do you think the government, federal government, regulates that all the quoted rates should be per year? Because if there is no such a regulation, people may try to mislead investors. So like, oh, 20% a year. For how long? For 20 years without clear. So we need to, when investors compare loans or investment opportunities, they should compare apple with apple, orange with orange. So to make everything consistent, annual rate, APR, that's the quoted rate. So that everyone should be consistent. Otherwise, we will have a difficulty with comparing different options. So that's why. So you must remember coupon rates, also yield to maturity, all are quoted rates, are annual rates. So any questions so far? And the maturity date, it's obvious. So bond has maturity. So bond payments, coupon payments, or loan period does not continue forever, but bond has an end. So all bonds must end at the maturity date. Can be very long, 30 years, 50 years, can be very short, 1 year, some 3 years, but all the bonds should have fixed maturity date, and that should be recorded in the clearly written on the contract. and the contract document's name is indenture. So later you're gonna learn that kind of details. So bond contract documents should clearly show this kind of loan terms, coupon rate, maturity, par value, etc. And then now you learn. It's a good time for you to learn about yield to maturity. So yield to maturity is the discount rate. So yield to maturity, and in short, yield is the rate required in the market on this specific bond. So which one is changing? Coupon rate or yield to maturity? Coupon rate is fixed, so what's changing is yield to maturity. So suppose you purchase this bond that has a coupon rate of 8%. Yeah, suppose you purchase this bond that has a coupon rate of 8%. And if I ask you to calculate the present value of this coupon, so in other words, the bond price, what are you going to do? So let me make a copy of this. Yeah. So $1,000 par value. And so that will be paid in 5 years. And every 6 months, you're gonna get $40. So $40, how many times? 20 times. And at the end of the 20 period, you're gonna get $1,000. And how much you're willing to pay for that security? This is the bond. So to calculate this bond price, did I give you enough information to answer this question? Yes or no? No, so let's write it down. So let me copy this and make a whiteboard. Open a whiteboard. Paste, unfortunately doesn't, the paste does not work, then that's fine. So par value, I can write down the par 1,000 and coupon rate 8% and semi-annual coupons 5 years, maturity 5 years. So what's the present value? The present value is the bond price. So if I ask you to calculate the bond price, what are you gonna do? So how many cash flows you will receive? So suppose you pay this amount, bond price now, you will receive what kind of cash flows? So help me write down the cash flows there. So what's the first cash flow you will get? So suppose you paid this bond price now, and after 6 months, how much you will get? You will get no. After 6 months, how much you will get? I don't see any. No, your first, yes, 40. Thank you, Yulia. Yulia. Yeah, you after 6 months, you're gonna receive 40. Because coupon rate is annual coupon divided by par value $1,000. That's 8%. That means $80 is the annual coupon, but this bond pays semi-annual coupon. So $40 every 6 months, that makes $80 per year. So what's the second payment? this investor will get? For another 40. Yes, good. Yeah, thank you, Julia. So how many? So this will repeat until the 19th period, and at the end, what we are gonna get? At the end of the 20th period. So at the end of the no, oh sorry, I'm sorry. This is a 5-year bond, so 10. There will be 10. There will be 9 of this $40 payments at the end of the 5-year period. So that means, so the last, so this will be how many? So 40. How many times? So this is 9 times. So this 40 will repeat for 9 times. And then at the end of the 10th period, so that means at the end of the 5th year, so you are gonna get how much? Yeah, see? Yeah, Julia, you're right. 1,040. Good. 1,040, because 1,000, yeah, to make it easier for you, easier to see. Let me raise. There will be $40 of coupon, last coupon plus 1,000 of par payment. Yeah. So, but you don't add, to calculate the bond price, you don't add all this money directly, because why not? Why not? Because these are future money, and bond price is the present value. So the price is price now, so present value. So you don't just add future values directly to calculate present value. That's against the time value of money concept we are learning. So what should we do? So here is my question. Did I give enough information to calculate this, to do this calculation, to calculate the bond price? The answer is no, right? One piece of information is missing. So what kind of information is missing? Yeah, yield to maturity, not yield to date. So yield to maturity. So in other words, to calculate the present value of this future payment, we need the discount rate, the right discount rate. So that discount rate information is missing. And I just told you, what's the name of the discount rate that's applied to bond valuation? Starts with Y. So yield to maturity. So yield to maturity is the discount rate. But you may, someone may ask, oh, coupon rate is 8%. Isn't it the discount rate? No, definitely no. Yield to maturity is the discount rate. It should be given. So what if? Yeah, so what if yield to maturity if yield to maturity is 6%? So that's the discount rate. So how do we apply this discount rate? So we need to use this relationship. Present value is, how is it related to future value? We don't make present value equal to future value. So, Julian, it's not 4%. No. So how, let's just go step by step. So how do we convert future value into present value using your chapter 5 knowledge? So what should I write here? 1 plus discount rate R to the power of T, number of periods. Yeah, 1 plus R. And yeah, Julian, the whole thing, 1 plus R, the whole thing should be taken to the power of n, not just R. So you need to use a parenthesis, but thanks for the participation. So here, what should I write? So this $40 that will be paid 6 months from today. So it should be discounted using what kind of rate? So 1 point, what should I write here? We know the power is 1, so there is 1 period. What should I write here? Yeah, good job, Yulia and Jackie, 1.03. Because this is semi-annual payment. So semi-annual coupon, so 6 months coupon, 40. So you should use the 6 months rate. And what's the required return? Yield to maturity, 6%, but all the quoted rates are annual rates, but this is a semi-annual period, so half of 6%, 3%. So to the power of 1. Any questions? And then what should I write here? 1.03 to the power of 2. And yeah, good job. And what should I write here? The last $40 to the power of 9. Yeah, good job. Yes. And what should I write here? The last, the 10th payment of 10,040. 1 plus 3% to the power of 10. Yeah. So this is how to do the calculation. But as you learned that, you don't need to do this 10 calculation one by one. You can just calculate the present value. You can use Excel's present value function. You can calculate the present value and giving inputs. Use Excel. And Excel's present value function. And then enter the rate, %. Yeah, that's 3%. And how many periods? 10. And what should we write as a future value? 1,000. That's the per. That will be paid. And then what is the payment? So what number you should enter as the payment? Excel. No, not so. There are 10 payments, so N is 10, but what's the payment amount? Yes, it's 40. Yes, 40. Good job, 40. And you compute present value. So you compute present value and you will get the, get the bond price. And after you entering this number, the present value, you will get the negative number after you, because payment and future value, those are positive number. That means you receive $40 and you receive 1,000 at the end. Why? Because you pay this present value, so you will get a negative number. Any questions so far? So,
yeah, Professor.
Yeah, okay. Alex seems to have a question, so go ahead.
How would you put that into Excel? Because I tried to do one
Sure,
homework.
I can show you that. Yeah.
Please.
Yeah, we can open an Excel spreadsheet. So we are looking at a bond. So let me make it larger. So we are looking at a bond. So 10 number of 10 payments and payment 40 and semi-annual rate is.
Can I see the screen? I don't see it.
Oh, you don't see that? Oh, yeah. Sorry, I'll share. Share screen, Excel, share. So you can you see it now?
Yeah, we see it. Yeah.
Okay, good. Yes. Yeah. Thank you, Liana. So yes. So we need more. Yeah. Future value 1,000. So we need a present value. So we use the present value function, and then Excel is kindly showing you what to do. So rate 3%, half year rate, and there are 10 semi-annual periods in 5 years, and payment 40, and future value 1,000. Yeah. So $1,085.30 negative. So why it's negative? You pay this amount now and you receive 40, 40, 40, 40, 40, 40, 40, and 1,040 inflow. So this is how to calculate bond price using Excel. So any other questions? So this is it, the bond valuation. But if you accidentally enter like a so what I want to emphasize here is sign convention matters, and also consistency of the interval. So what if you accidentally enter? So my point is, so if I can ask you this question in many different ways, so let's go step by step. So in other words, bond calculation is playing with those 5 variables: present value, future value, payment, the rate, and what is it? Number of periods. So these are the time variable, money variables. So what's the name in the bond world? So present value in the bond world, what's the term we give to the present value in the bond calculation? If it's not clear, so let's start from easier one. So future value, in the future value calculation, in bond calculation, future value corresponds to which component of a bond? It's par. So par or principal future values, that's in bond calculation, you should enter the par value to the future value area of the Excel calculation. And payment in bond calculation is related to which characteristic of a bond? Anyone? So here, payment 40. Yeah, coupon rate. So in bond language, payment is coming from the coupon rate. So you use the coupon rate to calculate payment. And the discount rate. In this calculation, what's the bond language for the discount rate of what? Yes, Jackie, thank you. Yield to maturity. And what is related to N, in this case, 10 periods. So that's related to remaining time until maturity. The remaining time until maturity, the bond maturity. And then what in the bond calculation is what in the bond terminology related to present value in this calculation. The present value is the bond price. Right? So we have the same 5 time value of money variable you learned in annuity calculations. And these are the 5 important terms used in bond language. So that you should, but this is not new. These terms may be new, but you already know how this calculation works. So in previous chapters, you learned it already. And I can ask you the same question in a different way. So in those 5, there are 3 money. So there are 3 items in this, out of those 5 variables, 3 items are money. Bond price is money, par value is money, and payment is money. So those 3 are money. So out of these 3 items, that's money. So present value, future value, payment. 2 has the same sign. 2 have the same sign, and the third one has the opposite sign. So which one should have the opposite sign? So let me repeat the question. In bond calculation, so these are 5 inputs for bond calculation, and 3 of them are money. And among those 3 monetary items, 1 has the opposite sign. The other 2 have the same sign. So which one must have the opposite sign from the other 2? Do you think future value, Julia? That's not the correct answer. Yeah, present value should have the opposite sign. Yeah, present value must have the opposite sign, and these 2 should have the same sign. So from the bond investor's point of view, what should be the sign of present value? It should be negative. Why? So from bond investor's point of view, so from bond buyer point of view, so if you do the bond valuation from the point of view of a bond purchaser, so that means bond purchaser is lending the money to the company. So the bond investor purchase a bond, that means they pay the bond price now. So that's cash outflow, so negative. And then based on bond price, paying this bond price now, so negative cash flow, what do you get? If you are the person who paid the bond price and purchased the bond, you will receive coupon payment, you will receive par. So that's positive. Yeah, so you receive par value and you receive coupons, so these 2 must have the same sign. And this has the opposite sign. So if you don't follow this sign convention, you will be in trouble. Excel will not understand what's going on and will give you an error message if you don't follow this sign convention. And another important thing is matching the period. So coupon payment, if coupon payment is every 6 months, then rate should be for every 6 months. And then if you do the calculation, so in other questions, you may be asked to calculate yield to maturity. So the point is, in this question, I'm asking you to calculate present value bond price, but I may give you bond price and I may ask you to calculate the rate, yield to maturity. So any combination, any of the 4 variables I give, and I can ask you to calculate the remaining one. All right. So every day, so what if tomorrow market rates go down further? And what's going to happen to this bond price? So rates go down, bond price go up, present value go up. So every day market rate, which is yield, fluctuates, going up and down, and the bond price, present value, is going down and up. So yield, discount rate go up, present value go down, discount rate go down, present value go up. So yield is the market interest rate that fluctuates every minute, every second. And that's how bond price fluctuates when the market rate yield to maturity change. So that's why it's so important. Yield is the discount rate, which is changing. Coupon rate is not changing. That's not the discount rate. That's fixed. So as you can tell from this discussion, this is a very interesting topic, but complicated topic. So if you don't, so those who practice and take time to understand, digest this complicated concept will do very well, easily answer all the questions, and I'm done with the quiz exam. But those who didn't take the time to practice and sit down, think about what to do, those students are easily get lost. So chapter 7 and 8, bonds and stock valuation, very complicated concept. So practice using Connect, and also I posted practice problems. So chapter 1 through this bond valuation chapter, so practice and do well in the exam. So I will see you next week. If you have a question, stay or come back to my 1 p.m. office hour, or I can stay a few more minutes. So for those who have any questions, so otherwise, if you don't have any questions, leave. So if you have any questions, you can start writing down on the chat box or unmute and speak. So bye. Thank you. Bye.
Professor, I took the other quiz, right? But I wasn't able to, not the other quiz, the other homework, the one with the Excel, basically the chapter we're doing now. I was getting it correct. I was getting the answers correct. I just didn't know how to supplement it.
Oh, Alex, slow down. So is your question about the quiz you took today, or is your question about the homework?
The homework.
So the homework will be due tonight. So are you asking about the homework?
Yeah, I did it already. I knew how to do it. I just didn't know how to implement it into Excel, into the actual question box. But I guess
I showed you. So it's like today as you can see, enter. Yeah. So present. So here, for example, you enter
equal FV
present value and select the cell. So the rate is where? Here. And then, so you should not write 0.03 when you enter.
That's what I was doing. What I was doing.
So now now you understand what to do, right?
Yeah. Now I got this. I got a 60 in the homework, but now I understand.
And you still have time.
Okay. So the next question: what if it's like divided or multiplied? How would you do that?
Say that again.
What if you have to multiply and divide? How would you do that?
Multiply. So let me share the Excel file again. So do you want to multiply what? Multiply.
Or let's say divide the PMT or something like that.
So dividing is using, you mean this one? Something like so. So for example, B3 minus divide by 2, something like that.
Yeah. By B2,
yeah.
You could do that. Okay. Thank you. Just I mean, now for the next homework, I understand.
All right. So any other questions? So Alex, so you are now, so yeah, if you don't have any questions, leave, otherwise just speak or type your question on the chat box.
Hey, Professor, did you take a screenshot for attendance already? My computer just died and I just put it back on.
Actually, today I didn't take a screenshot, but every so you're because today everyone's or most of you arrived early, so I took the screen attendance while you're in the waiting room.
All right, copy. Take care, Professor.
Yeah, thank you. Bye.
All right, bye.
So if you don't have any questions, leave for other students to ask question or write. Thank you. Bye. So I'll leave 1 more minute and then I will end the class. So it looks like nobody has a question. So I will end this classroom. And then if you have any questions later, feel free to come to my Zoom office hour. So okay. All right. So I will end the Zoom class. So if you have any questions, come back to my 1 p.m. office hour, and my office hour Zoom address is different from the class Zoom address. And office hour address and all class address, Zoom addresses are available on Blackboard. Bye.